Welcome into the big show, the Big Three DFS show. It's only two right now. We're playing shorthanded this evening, but that's all right. We'll get it done quicker, get you out of here a little faster. I'm Al Walsh. You can find me at Al Walsh DFS on Twitter. And why don't you go click on my website, give it a couple more clicks over there so we look a little more respectable. AlWalshDFS.com. And as always, I'm joined by the man from the bottom of the Mason-Dixon line. Well, just over the Mason-Dixon line. Chris Sweet there, Maryland. What up, kid?
What's going on, Al? How you doing tonight?
Fabulous. NBA's looking pretty good, with the exception of Corey Brewer. And I told you just before we went on the air, I think I'm done rostering guys that sit in the corner and pick their nose and their ass at the same time. He's only got me a couple points here. Everything else is looking tremendous. So hopefully we can get ourselves some money here.
He's one of those guys that always looks better in your lineup at 6:59 than he does at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. I mean, it's my own damn fault because I've watched enough Rockets games in my day to be like, all right, maybe I should not give him another try. Maybe I should do this. But, I mean, his salary price there, it opens up a couple things.
Right.
Now, as you can see, we are not joined by the money man, Adam Wagner. Got a prior speaking engagement this evening, so he will not be joining us. But Sunday, he'll be back in the saddle, as always. And then actually next week, probably around this time, me and Wags will be in the city for the DFS Players Conference. So if you're going to be there, definitely hit me up on Twitter. Maybe we get together for a brewski or something like that. I mean, hell, it don't cost nothing, right?
I'm jealous.
That's a pretty damn good deal they got going on there. You basically, you buy your ticket for the whole thing, you get some speakers, and you get some free food and booze. So, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be –
You can't beat that.
No. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some kind of stipulations where the free booze is only there from, 8 at night to, 10 at night. I don't know. I'm sure it's not going to be as great as it sounds. I mean, they always rope-a-dope you in somehow.
It's going to be a lot of Rickaloff and Mr. Boston probably, not a whole lot of, Absolute and Kettle One probably.
A lot of speed rack margaritas going on.
Speed rack, you got it.
Oh, Jesus. All right, let us get into what we came here for. The Lock, Sleeper, Wildcard segment. As always, this is how we get it done on a Wednesday. Obviously, it's exactly what it sounds like. We're going to give you guys a couple locks, a couple sleepers, a couple wild cards for each position going on. Now, we don't cover the kicker position because I hate them, and I could probably fight all of them with the exception of Steve Weatherford and win. So they do not make an appearance on this show. So you could just, flip a coin and do whatever the hell you do with that. But we do pick defenses. I mean, you get 11 players for the price of one, so that's tremendous value. All right, Sweet, get us started off this week for the locks at quarterback. Who we got here?
I'm guessing we might have the same lock. It's got to be Mr. Tom Brady against the Washington Redskins at 8,500. Maybe you've got a different one, but he's getting it done every week. And I keep having these visions of 2007 when I think Washington rolled into Foxborough and they dropped about 70 on them. It might not be that bad, but Tom Brady. At least 275 yards and 2 touchdowns every week. I was just looking through his fantasy points on DraftKings. That's ridiculous. His low game is like 25 for the year. He's as safe as it comes. He's expensive, though.
Yes, yeah. And, we've talked about this many times. You don't necessarily need to, go out there and go pick the most expensive quarterback on the board. You could probably get it done with like a Brian Hoyer or Jameis Winston, a little prelude to another segment. But, I mean, yeah, Brady, look, if you want points out of the quarterback position and that's how you roll and, you got value everywhere else, then, yeah, sure, it's tremendous. Tom Brady's going to get it done, especially against this Redskins team who, they can't get out of their own damn way. So, I should be talking way worse about them since they came back on my damn Buccaneers. But, hey, look, we come back strong like ox and win in Atlanta following week. But yes, I digress. We're not here to talk about the Bucs. Well, not just yet, but Tom Brady, lock it up as your QB this week if you want to spend up. If you want to save a couple dollars, I believe Eli Manning would also qualify as a lock this week going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Basically, when we do this lock segment, whoever's playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers basically comes up at some point or another. Last week it was Matt Ryan. A couple weeks ago it wasn't Kirk Cousins, but you get the idea. So Eli Manning, obviously the game he had last week, maybe his arm will be tired. I don't think so. I think he'll be able to get this done. I think he'll be just fine against this Tampa Bay defense. Nice total on the game, too, sitting there at around 48.5. The one thing I do like about this game is that Tampa Bay is only a 2.5-point underdog. 93% of the bets coming in so far on the Giants, so that bodes very well for the Bucs. I saw that immediately. I started dancing. I was like, "Yeah, kid, go home, go ahead now." But yeah, I mean, look, Eli Manning is going to get it done. Again, with the total in this game, I believe it's the third highest of the week. But regardless, we're going to get some points back and forth in this one. Both teams terrible on defense, so let's have that my friend.
Yeah, well, I don't know about you, but I'm in about 4 or 5 fantasy leagues, and I played against Eli Manning or Drew Brees in all of them except the league where I had Drew Brees. So it was a rough week for me in the season long last week.
Well, I did have Drew Brees in my 50-50 matchups last week, so that was a cool $200. I like that. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I would have loved to have him in the maker, but we can't have it all. I mean, I just want a toilet seat made of gold. Is that too much to ask for? Probably.
Go to Master P's house.
Make them say,
Master P, yeah, you got it.
How tremendous.
Make it stay on the gold.
Anytime that you have a tank rolling around on a basketball court in a rap video, I'm just thinking Grammy immediately.
My man Birdie Lipscomb loves that because they're all dunking on like 9-foot rims in the video.
Yes. That was an easy C right there for everybody. But I don't know if they were thinking like, you know what, maybe we can get away with this. We can get away with having the 7-8-foot hoops there. Nobody will notice. Nah, man.
Right.
Everybody.
No,
even little Romeo is dunking in there.
He was like
hopping up off the tank and whatnot. Shit.
Right.
All right. Let's get some sleeper quarterbacks this week. Who you got?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's fair to call him a sleeper because, like you mentioned about targeting your own team, I just kind of got to go who's got the matchup against the Chargers this week, and it's Jay Cutler on Monday Night Football. So I think he's in a real nice spot there. I got to see them live and in person. That defense is terrible. I got to see them live and in person this last Sunday. For those of you that saw my award-winning drop-in on Sunday morning from a parking lot under a overpass, had a little technical difficulties. Got into the car, got it fixed out. Might have had a few too many beverages at that point. Maybe a little too much buffalo chicken sandwich.
I think I saw a homeless guy giving another homeless guy a Hummer in the back somewhere.
No, those are just 2 guys from Harford County, I think, but
that's just Baltimore.
Yeah. So I think you gotta like Jay Cutler in this spot, especially you got that nice bullet on Monday night that I always like to have.
Yeah.
I think both the quarterbacks in that game are going to be good for the go if you want to take either of them.
True that. I'm going to keep it a little more financially sound here with Tyrod Taylor, T-Mobile there at 5,300. Look, he hasn't been in the last couple of weeks. Should be ready to rock this week. If he's not, then I do not recommend EJ Manuel, but only Tyrod. I'm pretty sure he's in this week. Obviously there's there's a chance that he could, re-injure. I believe it was an ankle and a knee, right, for Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, I think so.
He's all messed up. So, but still, I like this a lot. Miami's defense they played a little spirited there a couple weeks ago. 2 weeks in a row. They'll probably get back down to earth at some point. Hoping it's this week. Definitely want to have some Tyrod Taylor in my lineups this week. And again, the receiver situation there in Buffalo, not that great at all. But, there is a sleeper wide receiver that we will get to, and I think they'll be able to take pretty good advantage of that this week. It looks like Sammy Watkins and Percy Harvin are going to be out. So, Taylor can still get it done with his legs. So, he will be my sleeper as well. I have another sleeper if you don't have any others.
I like that play.
All right. Do you have any other sleepers?
No, I guess it's like a wild card. I think it'll probably be the same one you're about to talk about.
Probably my own boy.
Yep.
My own boy, my own homeboy. Jameis Jabu Wins, if you want to follow him on Twitter or Instagram. Great follow, by the way. So he comes in at 5,200 this week, going up against the Giants in that same matchup. As we just mentioned, a 48 total in this one. Definitely going to be getting some points going up and down the yard in this one. 4 o'clock game, too. You get yourself a late night, well, not a late night arm, but, late afternoon arm. You want to say that? I don't know.
Right afternoon action, Got to have something to watch when there's only 3 games on the Red Zone channel. Nice to have a guy in that 4 o'clock spot. Speaking of Twitter, you're talking about Twitter with Jameis Winston. I remember last year when he was at Florida State still, the Florida State's, whoever run their Twitter was like, hey, tweet any questions you wanted our Heisman Trophy winner, Jameis Winston. I don't think Jameis answered any of those questions that got asked because they're all about 2 subjects. One of crab legs, the other I won't mention. But
rape, I'll mention it. Rape.
Yeah, so I don't know who that guy was, but I hope he got fired because that did not end well. It was very good comic gold though. If you wanted to sit on the crapper and laugh your head off, that was a good read.
Yeah, he's probably the sports information director at like Jacksonville State now. So, yeah, you gotta find
University.
Work. Yeah, you gotta find. Absolutely, Florida Gulf Coast. That's down in Fort Myers. That's a little ways down. But memories. Gotta love them. Gotta love them. Any wild card plays quarterback for you?
Well, it was probably going to be Jameis Winston. But I think there was somebody else I liked. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you who I like, and I think we gave someone that's not here today a lot of crap when I think he was his lock in week 2 or 3. But I'm just gonna say it. I like old man 11 interceptions Peyton Manning in the wild card spot this week. Ooh. And that's kind of weird that you would even hear that he's a wild card, but then this year, like you're saying, boo, because why would you start this guy? Right. I don't know. At Indy, he looked pretty good last week. I think the bye might have helped him, and they got the Duke from the University of Maryland, Vernon Davis, coming, so he actually has a tight end threat once again. No offense to Owen Daniels and Virgil Green. I don't think you're going with me on this one, but that's why it's a wild card, man.
Yeah, I am so off on that. You can have all the Peyton Manning that you want. I'm done. Now, I think with him, he's going to be coming back to Indy. Probably going to have tears in his eyes. Probably not going to be able to see where he's throwing the damn rock. But I'm definitely moving off of that. My wild card plays come from the same game. Both the quarterbacks in the Oakland at Pittsburgh game. So we got Derek Carr coming in there at 5,500 and Ben Roethlisberger at 6,600. I think, total on this one's pretty decent, 47.5. Well, it's pretty damn good, actually, 47.5. If you're going to put a gun to my head and make me pick a quarterback in this one, I'm going to go with Roethlisberger. Oakland, West coming east, early game. You know all the itinerary I don't like on this for Oakland. I got Roethlisberger in my season long, so it's good to see him back. Especially with the injury to Le'Veon Bell, I think they're going to be trying to throw a little more. Yeah, D'Angelo Williams can get it done pounding the rock as well, but I like Roethlisberger for a big rebound, and for him to have his first game action in a while against a division opponent and a very good division opponent against that, just it didn't really go so well for him. But I think that's an aberration. I think he comes back pretty strong against an Oakland team this week, and line started at 7, down to 4.5. You ain't fooling me, Vegas. I already saw what you opened up at, so we're going with that.
I like both of those plays. I think Big Ben, he definitely is going to get off this week, I think.
Big Ben like clockwork. What?
Yep.
Terrible joke, I know. I mean, I'm exhausted, dude. Like, I have been I've been pretty sick here the last days. I don't know if you can tell how congested I am, but not really working too much sleep. The Z-Quil is probably going down like 5 seconds after I hit the stop record button on this, so.
Well, you remember I told you a few weeks ago what you got to do is pop a few Ambien, try to try to jerk one out and just see what happens first, because either way you win.
That's right. Everyone's a winner in this scenario. Sold. Z-Quil's good though. I like the liquid sleep aids as opposed to the pill form. So that's just personal preference,
Yeah,
Anywho, all right, let's bring it over to the Rock Carriers. I'll start it off with the running backs and start it off with the quarterbacks.
go for
Devonta
it.
Freeman this week, $8,000 there on DraftKings, going up against the San Francisco 49ers. Pretty high spread here for the Falcons at 7. Granted, San Francisco is starting Blaine Gabbert as their quarterback, and you wanted to make matters better. You sure as hell did not do that. I think it's safe to say that San Francisco will be in the market for a quarterback this offseason. But I digress. Back to the ball runner here. But, this just sets up well for a Devonta Freeman running game. We saw what Todd Gurley did to his team last week. I'm not impressed by the San Fran team at all. I have a feeling this one's going to get real ugly. Hopefully, you can even get a couple of those Atlanta defense turnovers there, and then just put the ball right down in the red zone, and then let Freeman rush it in, and everything will be nice and gold. But I like Freeman as the lock this week. $8,000 may be a little too rich for my blood, but if I got the opportunity, I'm sure as hell going with it.
Yeah, I like Freeman. I think he's the consensus lock. When I looked at the running backs, it was kind of like, is him or who else? So I decided I was going to try to find someone beside him as a lock. So the guy I'm going to go with is a little cheaper. It's Chris Ivory, who's coming off one of his worst games of the year, but he's got a Jacksonville matchup that I think sets up really nice for him. I believe he's 5,900 on DraftKings. So I like Chris Ivory to get it back going here. He was probably one of the top 5 running backs in fantasy before last week. I think he's going to get it going again. I think the Jets, that's a get-well game for them, especially with the quarterback situation.
Indeed. Now, Ivory, I had Ivory last week as one of my favorite plays, and he let me down big time. So I don't want to have another what the hell is his name from the third baseman? I don't want to have another Chris Bryant episode where I just get let down so heavy and then I never get back to the guy. But I'm a little upset with him. I'm not going to lie. But at that price, I could be a little less upset about him.
And he's a situation. He's a situational back where he's going to be front runner. If they're winning, it's going to be him all day. It's going to be gravy. But yeah, you get blitzkrieg by the suddenly potent Raiders offense, and he's kind of not doing much the rest of the day.
Indeed. I've got another lock here at running back. I'm going to go with Mark Ingram, running back for the Saints at 6,500. Last week, it was the Drew Brees show, so maybe his arm is tired, like I was saying with Eli Manning last week. So, but here's the deal too. Robinson's gone for New Orleans. So Ingram will be the short yardage back, and that was really the only thing holding Ingram back a lot of the time was that he wasn't getting these touchdowns. He's just getting vultured constantly. So now that CJ Spiller is not going to be handling the ball inside the 10-yard line, the 5-yard line, wherever. It's Ingram's turn to shine. And, Tennessee, not very good against the running back position. Yeah, in terms of fantasy points, they are, but in real life, no, not at all. I want some Mark Ingram. I want a lot of Mark Ingram, actually, in this one. And, the Saints are a heavy favorite in this one. Just sets up very well for him to get a lot of touches in this one.
Yeah, I like Mark Ingram as well. That's another guy that I was looking at when I was looking for locks. He's been really solid this year. And he's not necessarily getting the catches he was at the beginning of the year, but yeah, he's one of those guys. He just seems like you can pretty much count on him every week.
Oh yeah, lock and load him.
And Tennessee sucks.
And who? Tennessee. That's what you're saying, Tennessee?
I said Tennessee sucks.
All right, I thought you said like an actual human being's name. I was like, who? Who that? All right, so what are we at here? Sleepers. I think it's the consensus that D'Angelo Williams and Jeremy Langford are going to be the chalk plays as sleepers. I really didn't want to get too into it because I'm pretty sure everybody knows it. But everybody's known about it since Sunday. Everybody's been talking about it, so that's fine. But I do want to go kind of offbeat here with the sleeper pick. Charles Sims for the Bucks, 3,600. I think if you want to put him in at the flex spot, that's okay. He's definitely not going to be highly owned, but in a game that's going to have a lot of points, a lot of throwing the ball, I think that this just sets up very well for him to get a couple of receptions here. And, without a doubt, I'm thinking over 10 points. I think he could definitely get a touchdown in this game as well.
Yeah, I love players like that in DraftKings. I think I say this every week, but the guys that catch the ball out of the backfield, those are the guys that you want for sure. Throw them in your flex position, open up salary. Yeah, you got to like that. I like the other back in that game too, but I don't know how much of a sleeper Doug Martin is. He kind of disappointed last week. I think you kind of expected that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I thought he'd be pretty good, but yeah, I think he could get back on track. But I do like Charles Sims. He's a you're almost grabbing a receiver when you do that. When you grab a Charles Sims or another guy I want to talk about in a minute here.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I kind of expected it for the wrong reasons, though. I thought Atlanta would just be beating up on us. And
Right.
Tampa Bay they really came to play last week, which was awesome. There's a big story out there. The Buccaneers rookie Quan Alexander, his younger brother, got killed probably 2 days before that game on Sunday, and then he comes up and just has an absolute monster game. I believe he had 11 tackles. He had a pick. He had a fumble recovery, one where Julio Jones was basically running to the end zone, and Alexander just came from behind and just said, "Give me that!" No hesitation from Jones either. It's like, okay. So I mean that was pretty inspirational to see that. And I really see the Bucs coming together as a team after something like that. Just watching a lot of the interviews and just different things with the players this week. They seem to really look at this as a possible turning point for this team this year. And hey, let's have it. And one thing that we forgot to mention about Jameis Winston, no turnovers here in the last 3 weeks. So I love that. Well,
yeah,
actually,
I mean, they could have rolled over after that Washington game. They really came back really strong last week. That's always good to see.
hell yeah, man. Shit, we're talking about some Bucs football, baby. Who would have thunk it? All right, so do you have any other sleepers at running back?
No, I think I'm good. I think I'm ready for the wild card.
All right, kick it off.
My wild card comes from the same place as my quarterback wild card. It's Mr. Ronnie Hillman of the Denver Broncos, who is two straight really good games. Got the majority of the carries last week before the second half, and he just he looks pretty good out there. I think the one cut system is good for him. He's got some confidence now. Both his touchdowns were impressive last week, I thought, and then he had 100 yards the week before that. I mean, that's the guy I like. I mean, they're going to need a running game. They're going to keep playing the way they are. They got that good defense, and maybe old man's going to throw a few more touchdowns and less interceptions.
Yeah.
But I think Ron's probably going to carry down the stretch.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I mean, we know how bad Indy sucks at stopping the run, so definitely, without a doubt, Ronnie Hillman, put him in. He is here on DraftKings. He has 4,600.
4,600.
So I mean that's a tremendous value player right there. Definitely probably going to see him highly owned without a doubt. But I'll have some exposure. I think you can get away with cheap running backs this week. So maybe that whole thing about Tom Brady that could take to fruition this week.
Yeah, I mean, I was toying with some lineups with Brady and a couple of high-priced wide receivers, and you can make it work with the running backs this week.
Yeah, I haven't even tinkered with any lineups. I just kind of been looking at prices. I mean, it's just like it's an NBA world, and we're all living in it. Your boy Brad Beal just hit the game winner, it appears.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, they got out to a 19-2 lead and then promptly gave up like 28 points in that game.
Actually,
But
I believe
nice
John
win.
Wall, I believe. I'm sorry, I believe it was John Wall. It's so hard to tell those two apart on the court. Like, they look the exact same. Then it was funny, too, because the Spurs announcers were saying the same thing. Like, they were like, no, you know what? It was Brad Beal. I should just stick to my first intuition. All right, let us get back here. All right, so wild card, we had him. I had Doug Martin on the list as well. Also like some Darren McFadden this week, 4,300 going up against Philly. Philly's got a pretty good front seven, but for this price, then you get yourself some late-night legs in this one. But, get the Sunday night game, you get a number one running back now that Randall's out of there. I know Christine Michael's in the mix somewhat, but I'm not impressed. But McFadden's looked really good here these last couple weeks, and you know, I would definitely like to have some exposure. That actually sets up as a game that looks like the Cowboys could win / it'll be competitive. So you know, I'm not afraid of any blowout risk here.
That's the other guy that I was talking about with catching passes that I liked. It's Darren McFadden. He's cheap. He's doing it. He's now their future back. So until he gets hurt, which he will get hurt,
Yeah,
he is the guy to roll out. Yeah, definitely roll him out. He's 3 straight weeks of 17 points or more on DraftKings. He was really cheap last week. He's still cheap enough to grab him this week.
yeah, sure enough. All right, let us get to the wide receiver position here. I'll kick it off again, I guess. ODB going up against TB, the Buccaneers. God, the jokes are so shitty tonight. It's just how tired I am. But yeah, we got Odell Beckham here, 8,800 on DraftKings. Not sure on FanDuel. What do you got here as a price on for FanDuel?
Yeah, give me a second.
All right, no
But
worries.
that's my lock. But that's my lock as well. And it's definitely ODB week this week for sure.
Yeah, and you know, and
Hopkins
again,
out and just.
Yeah, nobody on Tampa Bay can stop this guy. I mean, you know, it's just the formality of how many passes he's going to catch in this one. You know, again, this Tampa Bay defense is not designed to stop the pass. They're very good against the run, though. I will say that. But you know, this secondary is weak. You know, front seven's pretty good, but I mean, long passes, everything. It just doesn't work out well for this team. Hopefully, we can get a pass rush going against Eli Manning. And it'll make it a little harder to get you know, the ball out for him, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like an amazing day for ODB here.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think he's about to get on one of those rolls like he got on last year. It's just he's the guy you want this week. He's the guy that jumps off the screen when you're looking at wide receivers this week. The guy that you want in your lineup, 100%.
Yep. Anybody else as a lock?
Yeah, I also like Antonio Brown this week. You mentioned Ben Roethlisberger as your, I believe, wild card. I think that Antonio Brown, he needed just that 1 week to get reacclimated. I think he's going to be huge this week and pick up right where he left off before Ben got off the field. I think that is another guy that you can build your lineup around. Maybe, like I was talking about earlier, you can get both of them and Tom Brady in your lineup with some of the value that's out there. Get a real nice lineup together.
Yeah, that would be magnificent because I have the Roethlisberger Antonio in my main season-long league, and I pretty much got everybody on a bye this week. So that would be tremendous if they can get that done. I would appreciate that greatly.
Yeah, I've got some Antonio Brown shares in my season long leagues as well. And just gonna pop back real quick since my slow computer finally booted up. Odell Beckham Jr. is 9,000 on FanDuel.
All right. Hey, by the way, just real quick, FanDuel, gotta give them a round of applause here for finally limiting the number of entries that can be played each night. So the database douches, your days are done, my friends. Well, on FanDuel, DraftKings, you can still get your shine on, but definitely a lot of applause to FanDuel for doing that. Definitely, you know, you got a lot of new players that are coming in just weekly. Hell, you know, and I know a lot of my friends have started up, and there's like, there's just no way that I can win, you know, going up against all this shit. So,
Right.
you know, they're definitely catering to the new players, and that's awesome to say. All right. Another lock-it receiver. I got Julian Edelman, 8,200 for the Patriots. Redskins not very good stopping that pass. It's been a while since we saw Edelman get real busy. Like I would like to see it this week. I feel like Gronk is a little too expensive to get in the lineups, but Edelman I think could be a very nice complimentary receiver this week.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little expensive this week for Julian Edelman. He's up there with the big boys, you know, the 8,200 on DraftKings. I think he warrants it, but I'm just a little surprised he's that high, you know. Little Julian Edelman all of a sudden is up there with Julio Jones and ODB. It's you know, what a time to be alive and all that stuff.
Oh, look at little Julian.
My other lock is Alshon Jeffrey from the Chicago Bears. He's a lot cheaper. You can get him for 6,700 on DraftKings. And like I was talking about Jay Cutler earlier, Alshon Jeffrey's clearly been the guy he's throwing to since he's been healthy, and he's getting all the targets, all the catches. And that dude. I mean, I wish I would have owned him every week. I don't know why I haven't been, but I'm gonna have him this week for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I took your boy Mike Evans over him last week. I really liked that matchup, but it didn't work out.
Yeah,
He got the targets.
yeah, I think we all did, and hey, listen, Tampa Bay Buccaneer will let you down at some point throughout the season. It just happened to be this week for you. I know. I'm gonna I'm gonna leave your guy for you because I think you might have him with the injury to Keenan Allen, but I'll go with the guy
Maybe we have different guys, but yeah.
the guy from Buffalo that I was talking about. Robert Woods here this week, 3,500.
Right.
Could be the guy for Buffalo this week. Now, probably going to be going up against Grimes, I believe, from Miami. So not a great matchup, but still, if he's going to be the only receiver, I love this value price. I mean, he basically has to step on the field and sweat a little bit to reach value. So, and then breathe
I like
some.
that. Yeah, I like that a lot. He looked pretty good. If was it the London game or did he play in a London game? He looked pretty good a few weeks ago. I think it was a London game.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm with that. What about Hollywood Chris Hogan? You think maybe he might be okay?
Sure. I get. I mean, yeah.
Just because you named Grimes, you said if Grimes is on Woods, you might have Hollywood Chris Hogan out there, playing the air guitar and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Why not? I'm sure he's a minimum price fellow, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I haven't even thought about Chris Hogan. So, I mean, yeah, sure. Why not? Load him up. What the hell, right? It's the sleeper
why not,
segment.
Right? Right. So my sleeper, I guess I'll go ahead and take your bait. Is Stevie Johnson
from
the San Diego Chargers. Is that the same guy you were thinking?
Sure is. Oh, you didn't hear me?
Yeah. I got a lot of lag here.
All right.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear you.
Oh,
Stevie
yeah.
Johnson is the same guy. Yeah.
Johnson.
I like Malcolm Floyd as well. It's 3,200, a little cheaper. I think he's the guy that's gonna take those Keenan Allen touches, the underneath stuff, the slot stuff. Malcolm Floyd's going to be the same player that he was before the injury. He just might see a few more targets like he did in the Baltimore game. He's 3,900, so I mean that's even a little. That's still pretty cheap, but I can still see Malcolm Floyd getting like 2 or 3 catches. There's a long one in there, but I think Stevie Johnson is definitely the volume guy, and he's going to be highly owned this week. But just as a guy to just get salary relief for anything.
Yeah, it really pissed me off last week because I was very close to putting Malcolm Floyd in the lineup, in a maker lineup. And I was like, you know what? That's too risky. And yet I go and play Deontia Dye from the Bucks. So, no, that's cool. we could do that one. So, you never win in this game. Well, that's a lie. I mean, unless you play 50-50. But, yeah, I love both of those plays. I guess we got a wild card play. Eric Decker, and reason that's a wild card is because I'm not exactly sure what is going on with the health of 2 people that would affect this. Fitzpatrick, if he's in, I guess that bumps him up a little bit, but looks like Marshall could be out for this one with a foot injury. So if that's the case, all the targets for Eric Decker, maybe even some Patrick Curley or Jeremy Curley in the mix. Both of those guys would make for a nice play there. So I don't know. I mean, it's a wild card play. I'm not in love with it, but you might be.
Right. Yeah, I don't mind that play at all. He's just been really solid all year. Eric Decker has, but yeah, the quarterback play that's a little sketchy. Maybe Bryce Petty will be back there. Who knows? Is he still on the roster? I don't even know.
He sure is. Now, hopefully they can start running like a Baylor type offense for him. That'd be swell.
That'd be good for everyone. So my wild card, I'm gonna go with the same theme where you said, "Heck, it's a wild card," and this is, this is if this guy plays. I'm gonna go with Deshaun Jackson in that Washington-New England game because we know Washington's gonna need to try to get back in this game. If Deshaun's out there, I mean, he'll break one on anybody. It doesn't really matter who it is. And the
Right.
Patriots secondary isn't particularly great. So he's 5,700. It's not exactly super, super cheap, but he's an established guy that can, that's a millionaire maker guy right there. If he
Yeah.
goes off, he could be in, only a few people's lineup. So
Is he
maybe
back for
even go real
sure?
crazy.
Yeah.
I've been hearing on local radio he's going to play. So he's questionable right now. Like I said, it's obviously dependent on him playing to put him in your lineup. But yeah, you want to go
Sheesh.
real crazy, get Kirk Cousins and him and that millionaire maker. You
Oh
never know,
no.
man. That's
Oh
how dreams are
no.
made. Kirk Cousins, how you like that, right? Right? You like
uh,
that? You like that? You
yeah.
know they got T-shirts down here. I should send you one.
No, I'm good. Really, I am.
Yeah.
You shouldn't. You really shouldn't.
Yeah.
On that
If
note,
Robert Griffin, if Robert Griffin did that, people would be losing their damn minds. I love it.
basically. All right, let's. Not good. Not good. Remember, like that time that Wags didn't want to talk about the speeding ticket that he
Yeah.
got.
I'm sorry,
Basically.
man. Well, you could just bring up the 5 Justin Tucker field goals I witnessed last week, including the one to beat the Chargers.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, tight end position. Got this and the defense, and we'll be out of here for the evening. Going at tight end. Actually, you started off. I started off the last two.
Well, I guess we just kind of been going for the top guy every week, so every position. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it going with Rob Gronkowski, everyone's favorite,
Yeah.
8,000. I don't know if you're gonna afford him with all those other guys, but I think he's the guy. It's him and everyone else. I'd like to say that my lock's Antonio Gates. I'm just not sure about the health. I guess I feel like they might need to use him too much, and that might not be a good thing for him. We saw a lot of John Phillips in that game last week after Green, I guess. When you go to a game, live game, you don't really know what's going on. So
It's the worst.
there was no reason for me to think Ladarius Green got hurt. He just caught one pass, and that was it. And I was like, man, John Phillips is playing a lot. Turns out Ladarius Green didn't come back in the game, so I guess that's why. And Gates did what he can do, but he's on a limited snap count for sure. And
Yeah.
you know his injury is not going to get better by playing more, unfortunately. So I can't really back him like I'd like to.
And,
What do you got?
we want to go a little cheaper here. I like Greg Olson this week. He is the second highest tight end, or second most expensive
Yeah,
tight end on the board.
he is.
Green Bay 24th against the tight end position this season. And the thing that I like here is that we got a nice total in the game. Basically, 45 and a half. That thing was at 47 before. Anywho, now looks like there's going to be some points in this one. So if it's going to happen, it's probably going to happen through the air for Carolina. Olsen's just been a stud all season. I know Wags would be talking about, he's the one that they could key on. I don't really care. I think Carolina gets it done through the air. Newton to Olsen here. And looking at the line here, Green Bay favored by 2.5. Kind of crazy considering what they went through
Yeah.
last week in Denver. So I don't know, little telling there possibly.
I guess you got to think that doesn't happen 2 weeks in a row to Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you would think.
What do you have? 41 yards passing last week?
77 passing and 41 rushing. So he almost had as many rushing yards as passing yards.
Now, last week, that whole DFS Writers League that we're in that nobody gives a shit about.
I'm doing awesome in it.
So I need to look at it because I was up a lot, and the only guy that what happened here? I was playing 6-5 advisors, and I was up by like 20 points, and he had Aaron Rodgers to go, and I still won. And I didn't even start I had Sam Bradford starting last week. But funny thing about that, Sam Bradford was on a bye.
Yeah.
Me and you, right at the top of the Champions League.
Yeah, man. I had Drew Brees in that league last week. My team's pretty loaded there. Drew Brees, Antonio Brown, Gronk, Denver's defense, Gostkowski. I got the skill positions. I got the specialty positions. Yeah, I got some other guys on there. Yeah, I'm pretty loaded. I got Gurley. I don't know how that happened. I wish I had this lineup in my other leagues.
I'm taking a look at your I'm taking a look at your points for. Holy Joseph.
Yeah.
All right.
So I got that going for me, which is nice.
Sleeper tight ends. You got.
Oh, my sleeper is going to be Heath Miller this week. He's a
All right.
cheap price at 2,700 on DraftKings. He clearly was a beneficiary last week of Ben coming back. Caught 10 for over 100. That's probably not going to happen again this year, but I mean that's just so cheap for him. He's going to see targets. He's going to get catches. Even if he gets you like 4 for 50, and hopefully that touchdown. That's money right there.
For sure. If I'm going with a sleeper, it's going to be from my Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they're playing the Giants and they just get torn up all the time. But Austin Seferian-Jenkins, who we haven't even seen since week 2. Jameis Winston loves throwing to the tight end as well, so this could be a great matchup. He's taking part in practice. He might be back in the mix here, but I think this would be a beautiful return for the second-year tight end out of Washington. Definitely want to keep an eye on this situation closer to game time because he is 2,800. So, I mean, that's basically steal of the week right there if we can get it. I mean, the Giants are dead last in the league at defending the tight end position. So, definitely a situation that we will be monitoring because it could be a great time to be alive for ASJ. You like how I
Yeah, I
dropped
like
that in there?
ASJ. I did
See,
like
now
that, yeah.
now the jokes are coming back around. We're good. We're good.
Man, so the Giants have overtaken the Raiders for that lofty last against the tight ends, huh?
Sure. Yeah,
Congratulations to them.
we'll be seeing some sick flow charts any day now.
That's another thing about going to a game live is they're trying to put up fantasy stats now, but it's kind of like it's great try NFL, but you're not really doing that good of a job with it. But all you keep seeing, you keep seeing the out of town scoreboard, but you don't
Right.
know what's going on. But then all of a sudden you see New York and New Orleans, and like every time it flips, there's 10 more points. There's like 7 more points on each team, and you're just like, I don't think anyone in the NFL scoring, but Drew Brees and Eli Manning are just going crazy over there.
Well, you know what happens is that at stadiums where the teams are actually good, they do worry about the actual game. But
Yeah.
when they have two shitbags playing like San Diego and Baltimore, that's like
no doubt.
they just load up the fantasy stats. So
yeah, not enough. They didn't load them up enough. Damn it.
That does suck, though. I mean, like, I don't know if I ever want to go to an NFL game again, just doing all this fantasy stuff because it's like you feel like you lose an entire day. Like, I'm going to be up my old hometown this weekend, so any Giants fans want to watch the game this weekend, bring it. But, I feel like even then, I'm going to be out at a bar watching the game, and it's like I feel like I'm going to be missing out on everything there, too, So
You do, definitely. It's turned into a culture where you need to sit in your cozy little, chamber with the laptop, the tablet, the phone, the red zone channel on, the all 22s if you can get your hands on those, whatever, Some of that famous Gatorade and vodka you drink over there in New Jersey.
No way, man. I think I'm going back to the seltzer water. That's where it's at.
Okay.
I got too much sugar in the Gatorade. But yeah,
you got electrolytes though.
Yeah, I just electrolytes are good after a night of action. But
yeah, man.
I used to see this girl once, and she would come over with Gatorade. Like she is great. She's tremendous, but she is also no more, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right. You got any more plays for tight end, or should we move on to the D's?
I'll go deep wild card real quick with Clive Walford from the Oakland Raiders. I think one of these weeks he's going to have a pretty big game. That's why he's a wild card. Pittsburgh is 30th against the tight end, so they're right up there with the other guys we were talking about. Yeah, that's just it's a deep sleeper wild card type guy. 2,600, I believe, on DraftKings. He's making some little bit of noise every week, so one of these weeks he might have a pretty big game. I didn't even mention our boy big bad news big game Gary Barnage. Just keeps it going again. So this is my weekly Gary Barnage.
He's on the Thursday game, so he's irrelevant.
Yeah, that's right. My fault. Sorry, Gary. New needs you.
Yeah, Gary, you're irrelevant again. I refuse to give this guy any props. I don't know why, but I don't. I
Yeah, I
don't feel
mean,
like
I don't think anybody is, but they should start.
it. All right, wild card tight end that I got here. I'm gonna go with Delaney Walker, and it's also contingent on if Mettenberger is playing. Mariota practiced in full this week, so there's a good chance that he could be in, but. Mettenberger and Delaney Walker have a pretty good rapport, and pretty good means Tennessee Titans good, not like rest of the NFL good. But
Right.
again, Tennessee's behind in this game. We're going to be catching garbage points all over the joint here in the Superdome. So Delaney Walker, but pay attention to the quarterback news for the Titans this week. All right, final
Definitely.
segment. Let us get some defenses in the mix. I think the consensus would be Denver. Am I wrong here?
No, for 3,000, they're like the eighth highest defense. That's my consensus.
Yeah, it's like the week that
I'm
the Rams were like 2,400 on DraftKings.
2,400, yeah, and we're like, we nailed it. Oh, so did the rest of America. Damn it. Yeah, but I mean, this isn't quite as drastic, but yeah, I'm not saying this lightly. Like, I think this is the best defense we've seen in a long time, maybe
Yeah.
since 2000 Ravens. Maybe they're not that good, but this defense is freaking impressive, and I'm just, I keep telling myself, oh, the Chargers will get a win against them, because weird stuff always happens, but I don't know.
In
This defense is ridiculous.
I mean, they are the chalk play this week, but I mean, I'm not going to go with them only because I think that the Colts are going to win this game. We're going to see the first loss in the Broncos this year, and it has more to do with the line. And in my 4-for-4 pick 'em pool this week, the line actually started out with Denver as a 3-point favorite. Now they're all the way to 5, but I took Indy at +3. But I like Indy to win outright. And they lost on Monday night, so here they come and charging.
Who did you like? Who did you like last week when you saw the line open with Denver +3 at home? Did you like them or did you like Green Bay?
I like Denver.
Yeah, me too.
No, you know what it opened? It opened up as a pick 'em.
Well, the line I heard was a +3, but yeah, I remember you saying that.
It opened as a pick 'em, but then it went to +3 like throughout the week. So I mean, I hit it. I didn't hit two of the other ones. I completely whiffed on, like Pittsburgh, but that's fine. If that douche Nugent didn't hit the field goal, I think there was another. The Jets. I had the Jets too against the Raiders. That didn't go so well. But now this is the second time this year in this pool that nobody won, so it gets doubled up again this week.
Nice.
So I believe the grand prize is like 3,400.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, that'll be pretty sweet to go to New York with. I'll be looking like a New York bozo all weekend.
My other lock, you just mentioned him. My other lock is the Jets this week, 3,100 against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's offense is actually they've improved a lot, but I think the Jets defense is going to be a get well game after last week where they kind of got embarrassed a little bit. Yeah, that's another chalk play there.
No, I dig it. We've also got the Falcons at the 49ers. Blaine Gabbert's playing quarterback. I think this is probably going to be the highest owned defense of the entire week. So, that. And then
I mean, they're the second highest, so that means Blaine Gabbert sucks donkey. So
sucks donkey. Now I know we were talking about the quarterback from there, but I don't even mind Pittsburgh's defense this week. Let me get a price check here on them on DraftKings, but
600 on DraftKings.
600, yeah. So again with the West Coast team coming east, we've seen this plenty of times, but I mean I like that. I think that could work out very well.
They're 4,600 on FanDuel.
Yeah, Tampa Bay is not a bad play here on defense either. I know there's going to be a ton of points in the game, but I do think that Tampa Bay could definitely get some, sacks, get some kicks here. They've actually, I believe they lead the league in fumble recoveries, if I'm not mistaken, right now. So that would definitely bode well for them. Like I said earlier, they can get some pressure on Eli Manning. That'd be tremendous. Will that happen? I don't know. We shall see.
You want to go real deep sleeper for a defense who's terrible. The Saints. We've already talked about Tennessee, how bad they are. Saints get Tennessee at home. The 32nd offense, against giving defensive points. So, you never feel real good with the Saints defense, but 2,200, save a lot of money there. It's a wild card. It's a sleeper, whatever you want to call it.
I dig it. Other defenses we can even get. Philly wouldn't be bad. New England, not a
Philly's
bad
not
play.
bad.
Maybe Minnesota against St. Louis, but just some other defenses to take a look at.
Yeah, it kind of makes it hard for you to pay up this week because there are a lot of nice matchups. It seems like there's been so many weeks this year where there's no good matchups except for one, but this week's kind of different.
Yeah. Let's get it on. Can't wait. All right. Great show as always. Special thanks to Chris Sweet with us. And join us Sunday as we do the basically game-by-game pick 'em and, go over all the injury news and see what's going on throughout the league before we do our final lineup lock. So
we're going to get the band back together, all three of us?
Oh, yes. And then me and
Wags. That'll be good,
Me and Wags go toe-to-toe on the gridiron Sunday, so
might have
to pop on the throwback orange creamsicle.
We missed the energy of Wags this week. We need him back on Sunday so we can hear you two talk about that big matchup of the football Titans up in – where is that? Is that in Tampa?
That is in Tampa.
It's in Tampa.
I was actually supposed to go to that game, but then once I learned that the conference was the following week, I was like, hey, all right, no. I saved flight money that way too. So.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so. All right, we will see y'all Sunday. Have a good one. Later.
Peace.